What if I told you that the cutthroat world of corporate boardrooms has more in common with Renaissance Italy than Silicon Valley? That behind the vision statements, innovation slogans, and smiling keynote presentations, there's a centuries-old playbook being followed. One written by a man who believed that deception, manipulation, and ruthless ambition were not just acceptable, but necessary? That man is Niccolò Machiavelli. Though he lived over 500 years ago, Machiavelli's ideas have never left the stage. And today, they're being acted out in the high-stakes world of corporate leadership, where companies battle not for kingdoms, but for markets, not with armies, but with algorithms. Machiavelli may have written for princes, but his real students might just be CEOs. Welcome to the unfolding journey, where history, philosophy, and the modern world converge. We explore the thinkers, ideas, and forces that continue to shape our reality today, from ancient wisdom to today's headlines. If you love peeling back the layers of how power truly operates in society, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. The Machiavellian CEO, myth or reality? When we think of a Machiavellian leader, we often picture someone manipulative, cold, and power-hungry. But Machiavelli's message is more subtle and much more strategic. In The Prince, Machiavelli doesn't say that rulers must be cruel. He says they must know how to be cruel when necessary. And above all, they must appear virtuous while doing what is needed to protect power. Sound familiar? Corporate leaders are often faced with similar decisions. They need to lay off employees to save a company, shift blame during public scandals, or lobby governments behind closed doors, all while presenting a calm, visionary, and morally upright image to shareholders and the public. This duality, between appearance and reality, is at the heart of Machiavelli's political philosophy and the cornerstone of many executive decisions today. Virtue in the boardroom. One of Machiavelli's most enduring ideas is the concept of virtue, not to be confused with virtue, as we know it. Virtue, for Machiavelli, is the ability to shape circumstances through strength, cunning, and decisiveness. It's leadership grounded in adaptability and boldness. Great CEOs exhibit this kind of leadership. Think of Elon Musk, Sheryl Sandberg, Jeff Bezos, or even controversial figures like Travis Kalanick. Love them or hate them, these leaders succeeded by imposing their will on chaotic environments, taking risks that others avoided, and navigating crises with ferocious strategic intent. They are, in Machiavellian terms, people of virtue. They didn't always play nice, but they played to win. Fortuna, the corporate wildcard. Alongside virtue, Machiavelli introduces another key force, fortuna or fortune. Fortuna represents the unpredictable, market shifts, technological breakthroughs, public scandals, or black swan events like COVID-19. Machiavelli argues that leaders cannot control fortune, but they can prepare for it, exploit it, or recover from it. Success, then, comes from the leader's ability to navigate fortune using virtue. Modern corporations face this daily. Think of how Apple recovered from near bankruptcy in the late 1990s, or how Netflix pivoted from DVDs to streaming, and then again to original content. These were responses to fortuna, steered by leaders who understood when to act boldly and decisively. Machiavelli would have applauded them. The art of appearances in brand leadership. One of Machiavelli's most quoted ideas is, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few know what you really are." In modern terms, optics matter. This is truer than ever in the corporate world. Brands are built not just on products, but on narratives, carefully curated images that align a company with values like innovation, sustainability, or social justice. Behind these narratives, however, are often harsh realities. Labor exploitation, environmental impact, aggressive acquisitions, or monopolistic behaviors. Yet the public image remains polished. Corporate leaders, like political ones, are masters at crafting appearances, from PR campaigns to philanthropy, from mission statements to greenwashing. Machiavelli might not have known what a press release was, but he would understand its function instantly. It's the modern armor of the corporate prince. Ethics, expediency, and the double-edged sword. Here's where things get uncomfortable. Machiavelli's advice, to do what is necessary, not what is noble, raises critical ethical questions in the corporate context. When does ambition cross into exploitation? When does cost-cutting become callousness? When does strategic opacity turn into outright deception? We've seen major scandals erupt when Machiavellian tactics go too far. Enron's financial manipulation, Volkswagen's emissions scandal, Theranos' fabricated technology. Each case involved leaders who understood perception, secrecy, and influence, but lost the balance Machiavelli urged. Because while he encouraged leaders to appear moral, he also warned them to not be hated, to retain legitimacy, even when acting immorally. That's the line every corporate leader walks, between effectiveness and ethics. Corporate politics, a Game of Thrones. Inside companies, Machiavelli's ideas thrive not just at the top, but throughout organizational hierarchies. Middle managers maneuver for influence. Departments compete for resources. Board members align, undermine, and reposition themselves in subtle power plays. This is not about products, it's about politics. Machiavelli advised rulers to divide and conquer, to keep subordinates in check, and to watch allies closely. Smart executives often build loyalty among teams, reward silence during crises, and wield succession planning as a political tool. In many ways, the modern corporation is a court of courtiers, and the CEO a carefully constructed monarch. Lessons for leaders, the Machiavellian toolkit. So, if you're a leader, or aspiring to be, what can you actually learn from Machiavelli? Here are 5 practical takeaways. Strategic deception isn't evil. It's sometimes essential. Not every truth serves every moment. Control the narrative. What people believe matters more than what actually happened. Decisiveness wins respect. Waiting too long to act is often worse than making the wrong move. Power must be consolidated before it's shared. Leaders need authority before they can delegate. Prepare for chaos. Fortune will test you. Your response defines you. These principles aren't just for monarchs. They're the undercurrent of real-world leadership, from startups to conglomerates. Machiavelli may never have imagined billion-dollar valuations, digital marketplaces, or tech unicorns. But he understood something far more enduring: the human drive for power, security, and legacy. In a world where leadership is often judged by quarterly earnings, media presence, and global expansion, the timeless lessons of the prince continue to echo. So the next time you see a CEO on stage talking about transformation, innovation, or stakeholder values, ask yourself, are they leading with idealism or with virtue? Thank you for watching the unfolding journey. We hope this deep dive into Machiavelli's influence on corporate leadership gave you a new lens to view the business world. If you found this content engaging, insightful, or even a little unsettling, subscribe now for more episodes connecting timeless philosophy to today's power structures. Until next time, stay curious, keep unfolding the journey.